In the vast tapestry of the cosmos, amidst the swirling nebulas and twinkling stars, we find ourselves once more within the intriguing collective known as the Pact Worlds. This cluster of planets, each with its own unique heartbeat, thrives with a plethora of life and customs as diverse as the stars themselves. Join me as we delve into the living mosaic of cultures and species that call the Pact Worlds their home. Welcome back to Untamed Universe. If you missed out on our previous episode on the formation and governance of the Pact Worlds, you can find that here. Waves across space. Communication in the Pact Worlds. Communication within the Pact Worlds falls under three categories: planetary, system-wide, and unlimited. While some powerful governments and religious organizations occasionally resort to expensive and hazardous supernatural communication methods, such as employing angels and devils as messengers, most Pact Worlds inhabitants rely on technology for their long-distance communication. Contrasting with planetary comm units, system-wide and unlimited range communicators are too large to be portable and are generally integrated into starships or similarly large facilities. Individuals without personal units can typically pay to send messages on rented ones. Receiving a message on a system-wide or unlimited range unit necessitates an active drift beacon transponder, which triggers the receiver to broadcast identification and location data. Consequently, many criminal organizations maintain virtual mail drops or black market relays, trade in counterfeit transponders, or simply switch off their transponders and run dark. These transponders are standard on all starships and serve as a primary means of ship identification. Personal comm units are ubiquitous, inexpensive devices capable of communicating within a single planet or between ships orbiting a given world. Portable enough to be pocketed, they are also automatically integrated into all basic armor. While these units can transmit anywhere on a planet, they can be thwarted by targeted electromagnetic jamming or blocked by certain materials or methods. Due to encryption issues, comm units cannot directly control machines like drones and starships. While some individuals link their comm units to operate as private, always-on radio channels, most contact each other by entering publicly registered names or private identification codes. Owing to the massive distances, interplanetary communication involves substantial time delays, making it more akin to correspondence than conversation. The best current technology uses Triune's network of drift beacons, which mysteriously shorten the time delay beyond what would typically be possible with physics, albeit at the cost of randomizing the delay. All messages within a solar system-sized area take up to 7 hours to reach their destination. Interstellar communication, similar to interplanetary communication, depends on drift beacons. Messages transmitted this way take the same amount of travel time as jumping to the recipient with a starship. Thus, courier ships and ambassadorial missions remain popular for negotiations and time-sensitive information. Although there's theoretically no maximum range for this form of communication, no one has ever received a return signal from beyond the edge of the galaxy. Information networks in the Pact Worlds. The level of telecommunications and integration varies considerably across planets, but every Pact World possesses at least a rudimentary form of an infosphere, which is a global network of digitized information. Due to the need for physical transmission of information, these infospheres are largely isolated from one another. Neighboring worlds may have access to shared core information, but can diverge significantly on minor issues that haven't warranted the effort of synchronization. All major ports across the Pact Worlds provide basic encyclopedic data sets that ships can download. This data aids passengers in research when they're not in direct contact with an infosphere. Synchronizing the cosmos. Timekeeping in the Pact Worlds. With countless worlds, each with its unique rotation and orbital periods, managing time can be quite complex. Fortunately, One of the earliest acts of the Pact Council was to establish a universal measurement system to streamline operations. When the people in the Pact Worlds refer to an hour, day, or year, they usually imply Pact Standard Time. Under this system, a day consists of 24 hours, each hour made up of 60 minutes. This time arrangement coincidentally aligns with the day and night cycle on both Castrovel and Triaxis, as well as the shift schedule on Absalom Station, hence its acceptance. The year's duration, consisting of 365 days or 52 weeks, is based on Absalom Station's solar orbit. When referring to a specific planet's rotation or orbit, terms like local day or local year are generally used. Modern history marks years as after gap AG, referring to the number of years since the gap in the Pact Worlds system ended and memory and history became reliable again. Events before the gap are often referred to as pre-gap PG and measured in the number of years before the gap they occurred. On some worlds, scholars use the existing local calendars for events before the gap. Those trying to date anything within the gap usually count from the closest edge of the gap. Interstellar Carousel. Daily life and culture in the Pact Worlds. The Pact Worlds, by nature, are a confluence of different cultures, values, and traditions, making it challenging to identify universal traits. However, some commonalities can be noted about the typical Pact Worlds resident. While parts of Versus and Abaddon approach a post-scarcity economy, most Pact Worlders have to work for a living. Capitalism plays a large role in both personal and planetary exchanges. The quality of life for those at the economic bottom varies greatly. On Absalom Station, no sentient being goes hungry, while on harsh worlds like Aposty, economic bondage akin to slavery is commonplace. Most people have mundane jobs, such as farming, hauling goods between worlds, running stores and restaurants, or other everyday work. Socially, due to the multitude of races and cultures, prejudices usually target the most familiar and the most foreign, but most people understand that imposing their values on others often misses valuable opportunities. Those who don't fit well into their native cultures often find acceptance by moving locations. Exposure to a vast array of different races and lifestyles has made residents less aware of minor differences like ethnicity, gender, sexuality, and so on. Religion is significant in the Pact Worlds. The Pact Worlds host many different gods, whose congregations mostly live in harmony. Arts and entertainment are constantly evolving, with trends appearing and disappearing rapidly. Current popular music genres include gritty Acatonian shumka beats and Absalom Ibite rock, while upscale nightclubs play Versite ether ballads or Avalonian-produced euphonics. High-fashion trends include sleek Kolo Mahoy styles, Absalom Station's eternal punk look, and the gothic severity of Aposty. Sports, VR parlor games, and holo and still-frame shows are popular, with Eox's blood-soaked reality broadcasts always in demand. Recently, traditional books have seen a surge in popularity. The Sentinels of the Pact. For the final chapter of today's episode, we shall take a closer look at the Stewards. The Stewards, as essential as they are to the protection and unification of the Pact Worlds, predate the Absalom Pact by millennia. Initially formed as an independent peacekeeping agency striving for harmony within Versus's Ring of Nations, they comprised an elite force of Bethani operatives working from secure citadels in every nation. These warrior diplomats functioned as the guardians of the Ring of Nations, tracking international criminals, easing tensions between nations, either through skilled negotiations or discreet assassinations. Upon the ratification of the Absalom Pact, the Stewards decided to expand their influence, relocating their headquarters to Absalom Station and accepting the responsibility of safeguarding the Pact Worlds. The Stewards, though largely scaled up from their Versus days, required an influx of recruits from all corners of the system. Today, the organization boasts a diverse medley of races and ethnicities unified by a common principle: New stewards must abandon all past affiliations and devote themselves entirely to their cause. They operate independently from individual governments, and while they typically respect the directives of the Pact Council, they reserve the right to reject any orders they believe contradict the essence or spirit of the Pact. The stewards operate from their bastion on Absalom Station, a fortified edifice serving as a military training hub and ambassadorial institute. Fresh recruits undergo intensive training here for months, mastering everything from combat techniques to cultural norms across the system, before earning their field assignments. Once they have completed their training, stewards are assigned their roles, either as lone agents or as part of their fleets and bases. Occasionally, they are summoned back to headquarters for further training to ensure their duties are carried out professionally and impartially. Bastion also houses the Nexus of the Draws, a network of interplanetary portals connecting all major steward installations, facilitating the rapid deployment of ground forces. Much like individual stewards, these installations on the various Pact Worlds exist to aid and advise local officials, taking direct action only with the approval of the local government. Stewards are permitted to act directly and with impunity on behalf of the Pact Worlds government only in areas lacking clear local jurisdiction or neutral interplanetary space. Currently presiding over the stewards is Director General Lynn Camulan, a male Karasha Lashunta soldier who also serves as a non-voting member and advisor to the Directorate. Camulan primarily resides on Absalom Station, where he attends Directorate meetings and discusses stewards' operations with the Conclave of Legates, a group of decorated steward veterans. Only in the most critical situations would the Director General be summoned to the field, a fact that occasionally irks Camulan, who at times yearns for a break from the stifling political environment and a chance to demonstrate his martial prowess. While they do need to comply with their quasi-military hierarchy, solo or small team stewards enjoy a certain degree of autonomy in achieving their objectives, provided they never violate the Pact. Some presume they can evade the stewards by exiting the solar system or entering a planet's legal jurisdiction, but savvy agents aren't averse to collaborating with bounty hunters or similar groups to apprehend their targets, or they devise intricate plots to coax offenders back into Pact-governed space. Despite their unwavering commitment to uphold the Pact, the stewards aren't above flexing the rules to safeguard the system as a whole. Thank you for joining us today on this grand tour through Absalom Station in Untamed Universe. Together, we've traced the footsteps of time and witnessed the monumental events that shaped this extraordinary star system and learned about the intricacies of the culture and day-to-day life. In the vast expanse of this untamed universe, there are still countless wonders to behold and countless stories waiting to be told. So, keep your explorer's spirit ignited and join us again next week for another exciting episode. Your seat among the stars awaits you as we continue our journey through the untamed universe. Till then, safe travels, cosmic voyagers.